England scored 4 goals. Harry Kane scored twice.
And a crashing header! There it is again! There he is again!
Jude Bellingham looked unstoppable.
Well, first of all, Bellingham was wasn't dealt with by the Croatian defense, and Jude Bellingham running in from a tight angle and down off the post! From one end of the field to the other!
Marcus Rashford came off the bench and finished the job.
Not done, Saka picks it up, England have the numbers, it's Marcus Rashford!
By every metric, this should have been a routine World Cup win.
Listen, you cannot watch this England team and not say that going forward they look exciting, they look a menace.
So, why did Thomas Tuchel spend the final minutes of the game looking furious? Because underneath the 4-2 scoreline was something far more important, something Croatia exposed. And by the final whistle, one question was impossible to ignore. Did England announce themselves as World Cup favourites? Or did Croatia just expose the one thing that could stop them?
So I think we had numbers back. So it wasn't a case of, look, we've overexposed ourselves going forward. It's just we had to defend slightly better.
Croatia pressed from the first whistle. England didn't like it. Inside 2 minutes, they'd already given away a corner, just trying to play out from the back, passing themselves into trouble under pressure. They hadn't expected to face that early. It looked nervy, and it was.
They started the game, England, by the way. They played backwards, and they started playing to John Stones, and they got into trouble, and Croatia pressed them, gave Croatia the ball. Croatia's playing. England sat in their shape, sort of respectful.
Tuchel had spoken about the first half afterward, describing how England won just 33% of their ground duels in that opening 45 minutes. Not a stylistic choice, not a tactical setup, just not committed enough, not brave enough, not willing to go through the gaps. His words, essentially.
We played against a top opponent. I think we showed a bit of nerves. Maybe we wanted to overdo it, but we clearly overthought our decisions. It took us too long to take decisions. When we could play short, we played long. When we could have played long, we played short. We couldn't find a real rhythm in our game. And even in defending, it took us too long to make decisions to go as a block into the high press. We spent way too much time.
Croatia were organised, experienced, and they pressed like a team that believed they could win. England got their foothold from a penalty. Madueke won it. Modric fouled him. And Kane stepped up. He missed. The keeper came off his line early. The referee spotted it, and Kane got a retake. And this time, no stutter, no hesitation. He went to the same side and put it away. Relief more than anything else. But Croatia answered almost immediately. Baturina, one touch, and perfectly found the top left corner. Through traffic, a sensational goal. Pickford got a hand to it and couldn't keep it out. That was the first offensive thread worth pulling on. England hadn't been under sustained pressure. Croatia hadn't manufactured a complex build-up. It was one moment, one shot, and suddenly it was level. Kane made it 2-1 from a set piece. Declan Rice delivered an outswinging corner. Kane drifted to the back post and met it completely unmarked. A Croatia team with experienced defenders, a team that's been in World Cup semi-finals and finals, just left one of the best strikers in the world standing alone at the back post. Kane didn't miss. Then, Croatia equalized again, and this one was genuinely brilliant. Perisic reading the flight of a cross before most people in the stadium had processed what was happening, redirected it with a header that found Musa perfectly in behind. Musa finished with composure. Both finishes were good, but neither required Croatia to do anything extraordinary to create the chance. Baturina's shot came from England playing too slow, too narrow, inviting pressure into their own half. The second goal came from a ball clipped straight over England's centre-backs.
Modric looking for Perisic, knocks it backward, Musa, FC Dallas!
No real combination play, just a direct runner, exploiting the space behind the line.
Because that second goal scored from Croatia is a ball clipped over the top, over your two center backs. It's a straight ball. It's the sort of ball that if you are the attacking manager or for the attacking team, you say, don't waste your time playing this ball. Straight balls over the top usually amount to nothing. Instead, this worked beautifully for Croatia.
Croatia needed one moment each time. They got it. That's the thread worth following, because it doesn't go away just because England won. At 2-2, going into half-time, this felt genuinely open. Croatia had shown enough to believe they could steal it. England had shown enough attacking quality, but also enough defensive softness. Then Tuchel said something. Kane called it a speech, not a rant, not a hairdryer, not a manager throwing bottles at a wall. Calm, direct, and clear. The message, as Kane described it, was essentially this: we're protecting a result we don't even have. Stop it. Play our way. If we lose playing like ourselves.
That was good to hear him say when Harry Kane said that the manager said, if we're going to lose, let's lose how we're going to play. That's the main thing. And, they came out in second half perfect.
Anthony Barry, the assistant manager, came out for a post-match interview and told the rest of the story. Visibly tense, direct, not someone who just watched a team he was satisfied with. The coaching staff were not happy with the first half, and they didn't pretend otherwise.
That they were going to listen to the assistant manager, Anthony Barry. I think, what we're listening to him for? And then, obviously, you're just thinking, this is the manager's going to come on, he's going to say, yeah, you're bland, say nothing, bit vanilla. He came on, he was fuming. He was absolutely fuming with that first half performance, and it told us a lot.
So, when England came out for the second half, what you were watching wasn't a team that had just been calmed down. It was a team that had been challenged. 47 minutes. Elliot Anderson plays the ball into space, and Bellingham runs onto it. Not a neat, careful run, a full-speed, straight-line drive into the box that ends with him holding off a defender at a tight angle and somehow finding the far post. It was the end of a 23-pass move, but nobody remembers the passing sequence. What you remember is the run, and most importantly, Noni Madueke's awareness and body positioning that dragged the defender that was approaching Bellingham away. That was a very smart move from Madueke, and an incredible finish from Bellingham.
Yeah, the perfect cure to a goal just before half-time is a goal directly after half-time. And that's exactly what England got.
For the next 10 to 15 minutes, Croatia couldn't get out. England had shots, corners, half-volleys, cutbacks into the 6-yard box. Everything. Croatia's goalkeeper, Livakovic, made save after save. At one point, it felt like it should have been 5 or 6. The siege was genuine, and it was one of the most one-sided stretches of football the tournament had seen. But then, England sat back. At 3-2, with the game there to be killed, they dropped deeper, let Croatia breathe, and started inviting pressure. That's the second defensive thread. They couldn't fully control the game, even when they were winning it. A team with cleaner defensive habits would have managed those 10 minutes differently. What broke it open was the bench.
And then just see how many of the finishers, the subs, the finishers is the modern term, isn't it, were involved in that fourth goal. I mean, there's so many of them. Spencer was involved, Saka was involved, Rashford finishes it.
Saka came on, and Croatia had no answer for his movement on the right. Rashford arrived with pace and directness and finished the fourth goal with a clever cut inside on his left foot, feinting once, checking back, and passing it into the corner. Smart, composed, and exactly the kind of finish you need from a player coming on cold in a World Cup match. Meanwhile, Modric had already gone off at 57 minutes. Elliot Anderson had targeted him, specifically all game, pressing early, not giving him time to turn. For the first time in years, Modric looked half a beat slow throughout. England didn't stand off him the way previous England teams had. They went at him, and eventually it cost Croatia their most important player. Start with Kane, because you have to. 2 goals, 7 total shots, and then in the 94th minute, a defensive block on the goal line. A striker wearing the number 9, throwing his body at a shot in his own box with cramp tightening in his leg.
If you see the commitment of our captain, of our number 9 in the extra time to block a crucial shot after a set piece with all his body and his commitment to buy into a defensive action like this, then you know everything about his performance today.
Zlatan said it best after the final whistle. That's not what stars do normally. That's what players do when they want something badly enough to humiliate themselves for it.
Serious there, but when you see a top player defend like he does the sacrifice, he wants something. He wants to win. He's prepared to do the things that a star would not do normally.
Yeah. Kane's been doing that for years, and most people still undervalue it. He finished the game with 3 major defensive contributions. Bellingham answered a question that's been running for months. The debate over whether it should be him or Morgan Rogers in the number 10 role had genuine arguments on both sides heading into the tournament.
Also, I think the first time in Jude's career where there's a genuine question mark around his England career, should Morgan Rogers be playing? That was going into this, no one really knew who was going to start, depending on predictive lineups. Some had Rogers started, some had Jude.
It doesn't anymore. Tuchel started Bellingham. Bellingham scored. Bellingham pressed. Bellingham covered ground that midfielders half his age struggle to cover.
Jude, you can rely on Jude in these moments. He loves these pressure games. He loves that brings out the best in him. So that's an easy decision to let him play and to trust him.
Rogers came on and did well. The competition is real, but the hierarchy is clear, and it always was. The depth argument ran through the whole game.
I mean, it's not a perfect team, but it's pretty good. I mean, like you mentioned, depth. You got Rashford coming off the bench. Set pieces, they're deadly on that. Kane and Bellingham in terms of leadership, speed, Saka coming off the bench.
Rogers, Saka, and Rashford all came off the bench, and each one changed something. Rogers gave England extra movement in tight spaces. Saka stretched Croatia's shape on the right and set up the fourth. Rashford finished it. 3 substitutes, 3 direct contributions, all from a bench that didn't even include Phil Foden or Cole Palmer. Those 2 didn't make the squad. Think about that for a moment, because it matters when you're mapping out how deep this tournament could go. England had 22 shots in the game and created 7 big chances. Croatia's goalkeeper was, without question, the best player on the pitch for the losing team. That's not a stat you attach to a comfortable win. That's a stat that tells you England could have dismantled them, and the only thing stopping it was one very good goalkeeper and a team that still hasn't learned to completely kill off games. Which brings the third defensive thread to its conclusion. Croatia made it count twice from very little. They didn't need sustained pressure or 20-minute spells of dominance. They needed one moment, one quality finish, and twice they got it. France will find those moments. Argentina will. Morocco will.
But yeah, I do think there certainly are weaknesses. And when you come up against a France side, when you watch them the other day, you watch Lionel Messi, of course there are going to be issues, but we have as good a chance as anyone.
The back 4 and Pickford remain the part of this team that nobody can honestly reassure you about, and Tuchel knows it. The question is whether he can solve it before the games that actually decide the tournament.
If I'm Thomas Tuchel, I know what I've got going forward. I need to figure out how we gave 2 goals away against Croatia and actually give them another couple of chances as well. If they can sort out that defence, then absolutely England are one of the favourites because they will score goals.
What's now visible is the tactical identity. Wide players who work at pace to stretch teams horizontally. Kane dropping into space to create rather than just receive. Bellingham arriving late from deep into the gaps that opens up. It's not cautious, it's not reactive, there's a purpose to it, and against Croatia, when England committed to it fully, it looked like a system that could genuinely hurt anyone.
They didn't put any real great plays together, but once they started running, winning loose balls, playing forward, getting the ball, being more direct, then they looked good. When they started to try to play football with Croatia, I don't think it's not necessary to do that. I think you have to use your advantage. Your advantage is that you're physical, you're fast, you're smart, you're good with the ball, you can win it quick, you can go quick. So I think when they just simplified the game in the second half, they didn't even need to play well to beat Croatia.
Argentina's opener was good. France's second half was frightening. England now sits in that conversation, not as a hopeful, but as a team that belongs there. One game doesn't win a World Cup, but it can announce one, and this did. The defensive questions are real, and they won't disappear against better opposition. But the attacking layers England showed here give Tuchel room to work with. If he solves the shape before the knockouts, the rest of this tournament has a serious problem on its hands. Drop a comment below telling me which teams worries you most for England, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.